Yes, I'm very glad there have been two Hello Kitty games so far, and I mean obviously this is the last one, but still. All right, time will begin when I press Hello Kitty on this select screen, and so I'll give a countdown: 3, 2, 1, and we're starting. This game is pretty. I describe it to my friends as like the most 6 out of 10 game you'll ever play, and I say that in like a complimentary way because like you expect like, oh, Hello Kitty game, it's just gonna be like, I don't know, something mid. And I mean, you're kind of right, but it's kind of slapping. Honestly, that's all it needed to be. It just needed to be like a little bit above average, and people would be like, this Hello Kitty game kind of slaps hard. Like the OST is pretty good in my opinion. There's a song later on with a bass. I am forgetting my. Oh no! I might have the wrong controller plugged in. Hold on. That's my bad. So we talked to Batsmaru at the start. I'm not too worried about this run in terms of the timing of it all. I gave a very healthy estimate in case things go extremely wrong, but I'm hoping everything goes pretty well. Also, thank you for the good looks. If somebody wants me to save my Melody, I'm holding her hostage for a $5 donation to the charity marathon. So there you go. And Batsmaru gets absolutely demolished by cylinders. The storyline of this game's pretty funny as well. It's basically a bunch of cubes and shapes have taken over the Sanrio universe, and they're plotting to turn it into Minecraft. That is literally like basically the plot of the game. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie. And you're Hello Kitty on roller skates trying to save basically everyone in Sanrio Town. $5 incentive right there to save my Melody. And who wouldn't want to save my Melody? Speaking of my Melody, she had an anime. Not a lot of people know about this. In America, mostly. I'm pretty sure in Japan it's pretty popular. Onegai My Melody. It is... I would recommend watching it if you're a Sanrio fan, or if you're a My Melody fan in particular, especially. It's a very solid anime. The opening slaps really hard. Also, this is Food Fear Stage 2. There's honestly not a lot of tech for this game. A lot of it is just basic movements, so like hitting enemies towards your goals, and then just doing minor stuff like jumping like that. Also, this is a very cute place. There's a lot of like small details in this game that's like kind of surprising. Also, they have an enemy in this kid's game that just smokes a giant cigar. I'm not sure how they got away with that. Also, there's Karopi right there. So these blue guys we have to take out. There was one we skipped earlier. A lot of new runners tend to hit them just because it sort of matches the blue cubes you've been killing before then, but you actually don't have to kill all of them, which is pretty nice. And here we're just killing... I feel like so mean saying killing the cubes, but I mean, we kind of are. Sorry to make Hello Kitty seem very violent, but I mean, the kitten has claws. You heard it here first. And there's Food Fear out of the way with. And we waddle to the next level. The walking animation's super cute when you're in the house. This boss can be sometimes tricky. A lot of the time, it's just movement again. There's very little tricks to this game. and the ones that do show up are very minimal. Basically, you want to like make yourself aligned with him. It's very easy, especially as a beginner, to throw these bombs like sort of diagonally far away from him, and then that loses a lot of time. And there we go. Very quick boss, 23 seconds. But yeah, if you end up missing one of your shots, he'll do like this laser attack that lasts like a very long time. It loses like an absurd amount of time. Here's a stage that's very tricky coming up here. It's not like technically tricky, but in terms of getting the right RNG, it's not even totally RNG, but it's like you have to go really fast. It's a thing known as pudding cycle. Basically putting the pudding dog up there. Oh my god, we got goated RNG here. Normally that guy would like flee into the corner, but he didn't this time. That's pretty uncommon. I don't want to say it's like super rare, but it happens way less than a lot of other things in this game. Here we're gonna get this lever and we're gonna save Mimi. On the teacups. But yeah, if you go fast enough, you can basically save pudding on the first lever when you get to him. And that saves a whole cycle on the Ferris wheel. You'll see what I mean coming up if I get it, or if I don't get it. Either way. Also, I like that there's cucumbers there, and the red apples as well. You'll see those red apples later on, but sporting a different color for some reason. So I think right here, yeah, right here it's... We did it a bit slow, but that's fine. You can also jump in between cutscenes like that. That's another small bit of tech that there's in this game. Again, very minimal tech. We're actually like really... not in dire needs, but we would like some sort of a glitch or just something to change the game up. Probably by the end of the year. We're hoping for one. Just something. But again, it makes it very high skill and very little like RNG when there's like no glitches or nothing like that. So if that's your type of game and you just like platformers, then this might be the speedrun for you. Because again, there's very little in terms of like glitches and stuff. Finish that stage out. It's going by pretty smoothly. There's a lot of time on loading screens. I used to be number 2 in this game, believe it or not. But that was on a very, very advantage-heavy Xbox something. A word that starts with an E and ends in you later. And basically the load times were non-existent. And still, even on Xbox, the load times are very, very fast compared to GameCube. And Dolphin even has really slow load times as well. Here we're just gonna pass by Tabo. Tabo is the person right there. Also, there's the blue apples I was talking about. Here we have to hit all of the water barrels. You don't actually have to hit all of the barrels, just the ones that are... just the ones with, like, the water. So, see, I skipped, like, some of those. You don't have to hit all of them. It's just the ones with the water. You'll know it when you're running this game, which ones they are. But you can basically just hit, like, the area nearby them, and it'll count as them being hit. I got really unfortunate here. This boss is one of the very few, like, kind of RNG-heavy bosses, mini-bosses. Sometimes you can get him into the bombs, other times not so much. His behavior is very weird. Yeah, load differences on EU? Isn't that wild? Yeah, again, surprisingly, the Dolphin I don't know if I can say that word here. The aquatic friend version of this game is very slow for submitted runs. Here is the first upcoming, what I'd really consider like the hard first boss. The other first boss you get used to after you try. This one can be very hard for beginners especially. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I messed it up myself because I kind of forget the lineup. We'll see if I can get it first try. Okay, that's actually really good. And then we'll hit him again here. Or miss him, that's fine. So you can get him in a couple of cycles. But I missed the second shot, but it's okay. That's usually the easier of the two shots. So we're gonna have to go over here, hit him with this, and then we're gonna have to wait for him to come out of this end, and then do our super, which I don't think we've seen yet in this game. Also, it's a little bit bad because we don't get the energy stars from these guys, which can help out a little bit. And I'm hoping I didn't do this too early. I don't often miss this, but you can do it too early. The little dance at the end of each level is really cute, yeah. Later on we can get some friends, and if they're along for the ride, they do a little dance as well. It's very cute.
Sorry, can I just jump in with a quick donation?
Quick donation, what'll it be?
So, we have just had a £20 donation from Niz Truffles, which says, here's the incentive and the goal of the event, which could have been named Go Hello Kitty 2024, to be honest. And thank you so much for that. Not only does that meet that little incentive that Cain set us, but it also puts us to the goal, as Ms. Truffles just said, £100 for the event. Thank you so much. That does mean, again, with that bonus stream in a few weeks' time, we will be playing 100 games of billiards. But we can go further if you would like to continue donating. We would love to have more donations for this event, so definitely do that. We're raising money for Mind. They aim to ensure that nobody has to face a mental health problem alone. So do check them out, and if you are within your means, do get donating. Back to you.
Yes, thank you very much for the 20 dono. Going towards the charity, of course. And we will be saving my melody. Trust not. Or wait, trust. This level is actually kind of exciting in the speedrun community because we found a recent, like, path. I have to give huge props to the community of this game because in the past year alone, we found a lot of stuff. It's been really great. In this stage, normally, I'm gonna play the safe route here, where basically, okay, this is bad. He hit him with a banana. Considered the safe route. For a mission later on called Red Alert, you need 2 stars to be able to hit the boss for 3 damage. And that's basically the safe route. But someone in the community routed out that if you skip doing all the grinding for the stars and just do the boss in a different way, you can actually save a lot of time in the long run, even though on the boss you get a higher time. The fact that you skipped grinding for stars in that stage makes up for it. There's also 2 routes for this. I say 2 routes, but there's just a normal way, which I do, and then there's like a quicker way where you manipulate the camera, but I don't do that route because it doesn't come natural to me. I do the normal route. And here we go. We'll see it here. It's very straightforward, this route. The other route, you have to go backwards. and manipulate the camera, it's very awkward. I'm sure if you've seen this game, you may know what I'm talking about, because it's one of the more like, once you speedrun this game, it's one of the bigger differences, I'd say. But yeah, I just do the normal route here. Even in like non-speedrun event runs, I do the normal route, just because it's more comfortable for me. I don't even think it's necessarily hard to learn the other route. It's just I'm very lazy when it comes to learning new tech. So we'll go over here and jump here. The boxes can be finicky at times. You can like get lost on them. And there's some spaces on the flat ground actually where Hello Kitty becomes very like bouncy. It's kind of hard to explain unless you've played the game before. But she does this little hop on one foot. Also, this is Red Alert. This is the mission I was talking about with the new strats. I'll attempt to show like what I mean. I'm gonna do it in the beginning anyway, but it's this level is basically like the make or break point for a lot of runners. It can be very tricky, but you can also make it so it's not as tricky, but you sacrifice some time for it. It's really just a flavor thing. So we hit it here. I think I'm a little too late. Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. And then normally you can jump up here and hit him like this. And you can still do that, but I missed it because the springs are very annoying. So this will be a very bad red alert by my standards, but still, it should be fine. See, you can hit him like that. And then you can keep on hitting him like that. That's the new route to get more points. But I did the safe route. Again, marathon setting. But yeah, you can basically hit him a bunch of times just like normally like that. But again, it's very, very tricky to do, especially if you haven't practiced it. It can be extremely hard. This next stage has a very banging soundtrack, in my opinion. The bass on it is very epic. It's probably my favorite soundtrack in the game, to be honest. You can hear it. Do 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 do. They didn't have to slap this hard for a Hello Kitty game, especially in terms of like the OST, but they did. Whoever did the bass here is just like, they're just jamming out. Also, I like that the trash bag enemies, they also look like ninjas, which is very cute. Something about the big enemies that I did not mention before, there is a pattern to hit them. And also you can get lucky. The star enemies can actually hit this guy and do damage to him. You can kill him extremely fast if that happens, but we've yet to find like a really consistent way to get it to happen. It seems to be RNG, but maybe we'll find some sort of like really, really, really concrete way to be able to do it. That over there is runabouts. We love runabouts in the Hello Kitty speedrun community. We have to get batteries for him to charge up on. Also, there's bananas. Basically, runabouts is like the most busted companion in the game. He does very good damage. He's very quick as well. The only thing is you have to be very close to him for him to like not despawn and respawn, which can be kind of a pain. There we go. We also do want a little bit more meter, star meter than I have here, but we can just kill an enemy real quick. See, there he is with the attack. Oftentimes you'll find enemies get like stuck behind him. Also, we're gonna talk to him here real quick. Meter mentioned, exactly. I probably want to kill another enemy here before I head on. That's unfortunate that he went through here, but that's fine. I hope this is enough. I might be rolling the dice a little. I think this is enough. If not, it's like one off. It's unfortunate that he's not helping us out here, but that's part of the RNG that comes with taking runabouts as a partner. And here's the breakdance I was talking about earlier. Look at him go. Look at runabouts go. He's a sentient car in the Sanrio universe. Isn't that just amazing? It's a very weird character that doesn't get often mentioned in the Hello Kitty lore or the Sanrio lore, but in the game he obviously plays a huge role, especially in the speedruns. There is a level you can opt to have him on that in theory saves time. If he doesn't spawn with you though, it can lose time because you have to menu it, but it's question mark. This is a jump that is I will attempt like 3 times and I failed. You can make that jump. You can even make it the first time if you're good enough. I am not good enough for that jump though. There is an easy way to do it. It's very weird. You have to like jump and not hold forward immediately. You can wait. Here you jump before the cutscene happens. There will be a cutscene here. You can jump here to save a little bit of time, as opposed to just rolling a little bit forward in the cutscene. Also, that was almost very awkward. And yeah, you're basically just running away from the ball here. Zooming past. And then there's a couple ways to do this. Also, since the incentive was hit. Hello. Kitty, I'm here to help you. I made lots of desserts so you can regain your stamina. Let's go now. We got my melody. Let's go.
Let's go. Hype.
Let's go. W my melody. You can make this jump here if you're good. Or well practiced. I used to be one of those things. But unfortunately, the times have changed, and I am now a washed old gamer. Here you don't have to talk to them from the front, you can talk to them in the back, and that saves a little bit of time. It's nice. Those were the twin stars. I don't know why they don't just fly you to the end of the level to begin with, but you know, maybe their power is limited. Perhaps that's the reason. This boss can be really fun if you do him quick. There is a little bit of RNG with this one. He has 2 different patterns he can start with, but usually you can get him done pretty quickly. The first ball I do where I get hit, you'll see what I mean, and it'll like go towards him. I missed it, but it's fine. This should still be a very quick boss to do. So this is what I mean when I'm talking about the RNG. There's another animation where if he does it, he can get still hit by the baseballs here. We're basically just chucking baseballs at him. Unfortunately, we got the slower of the 2. But it's fine. There are ways to manipulate him in this mode. Basically, you want to be like close to the enemy, but it's a little hard to explain. You want him to basically bounce off of you and hit the wall. But even still, that's 39 seconds. That's fine. A very quick level. It can be even quicker if you do it fast, basically, and get the fast RNG. I used to run ILs for this game a lot, and that was one of my favorite ILs to run. Shout out to Spain, by the way, the country. And this is under construction. MGS, but in kitten format. This is probably the hardest level, not in terms of difficulty, but in terms of like the amount of variability where it's like how much time do you want to save versus how risky do you want to play versus like a bunch of other factors, because you can do this level pretty fast, but you have to play it very risky and very fast-paced. Or you can do it very slow, but basically ensure that you never get caught. If you get caught, the lights flash and you have to fight a bunch of enemies. So if you really go through it, you can like get a very quick time, but it's also very scary, very risky. Oh, I almost got caught there, but I didn't. If you jump attack the enemies like I'm doing here, this is considered like the safer route. Basically, when you're jumping as Hello Kitty, not as Batsmaru though, if you get the New Game Plus, oh my gosh, they have a very much harder time getting you with their flashlight. So you will get caught less. And I got caught here. You can see what getting caught is like here. It's fine. This last one's actually one of the better ones to get. If you get one of the... I think the first one's pretty forgiving as well. There's one in the middle where if you get that, it's like really tilting because there's like a lot of enemies there. But aside from that, like... fine. We'll use our 1-star power here. This is what the 1-star looks like, by the way. Does a lot of damage. And there's Under Construction. Considered the worst speedrun mission for most runners. You can lose a lot of time on it. But also, if you have a good Under Construction, it can literally bring a run back. So that's the thumbs up. Here I forgot to bring runabouts. I didn't really forget. I don't usually route runabouts in my runs. But you can bring them here, and he does save a considerable amount of time. Especially with the bigger enemies here. If you don't bring him and you like want a PB, it's still possible. It's just a lot trickier. And again, there is a little bit of RNG to be said. This is Cube Kitty, by the way. I thought I'd show that off. Very cute. You can also see that at the end of the run. But here, basically, you have to defeat all the enemies. And the next doors will open because of it. Boop. There's a trick coming up that is probably... I'd say like one of the most important tricks to learn as a beginner because it's like really easy to do. It saves a really good amount of time. And it's just speedy. And I will show it off when it happens. Also, you can buy cake here if you're low on health, if you're getting like S ranks. There you go. My Melody also gives you cake if you're low on health. So if you want to bring My Melody for like the buff, go for it. There is a way to hit these bigger enemies where 2-3 pattern. But here's the time save I was talking about earlier that's like really easy, that every beginner should learn. You do this and you can take out both sides. Sometimes one of the enemies can be farther back, so you don't get all of the enemies, but it still should save like a pretty decent amount of time if you get lucky, or if you just hit them towards the goal. Again, that's one of the easiest tricks to learn in this game, and it saves a lot of time. So I would recommend doing that if you're a beginner of this game. Here you can jump and save some time. It's not that big of a deal if you don't, but it's there if you want to. Here we'll hit this enemy. And again, there is a pattern. I think my controller just got unplugged, which is kind of hilarious. There we go. I have been having problems with the DualShock 4 lately, which has been very unfortunate. And again, I'm having... Apologies for that. I should still be hitting the time estimate by a lot. Even with this screw up. Just comes with the territory of having an old controller. To be fair, I don't know if it's the controller or the wire that I'm using to plug it, but either way. This is a very straightforward boss. You basically let these lasers hit you, and they take out these boxes here. I almost missed that one. And that's phase 1 of the boss. This next one, there is a trick here called the 2-cycle, but it is very hard for me to get because I'm kind of washed. So I'll probably be going just for the regular thing. But we'll see if we can get it here. You can basically get 2 sets of 3, which completely demolishes the boss's health in very fast times. Also here, I'll be taking out the little guys just because they can give themselves up for the boss. So here we get the 3-cycle, which is fine. Again, I'm not going for like world record or anything here. It's hard to say if I would reset this if like I was on pace by this point. Because you do lose a little bit of time not getting the 2-cycle, but it's fine. Still get an A. And here we go into the final stage of the game, which unfortunately for everyone watching is probably the most boring level of them all. Maybe if it's your first time seeing it, it'll look cool, but the reality is this is just a 5-minute auto-scroller at the end of the speedrun. So this would be a good time for donations if there are any. If there's not, I mean, shout-outs.
Alright, yeah, so we do not have any donations at the moment. Again, we have reached that £100 goal for the event, which is so fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for your generosity during this entire event. We do still have donations open for the moment, just as we wind down for the rest of this run here. We will have a closing speech afterwards as well, but do get your donations in for Mind while you still can. They are aiming to make sure that nobody has to face a mental health problem alone. They have their info line, their legal line, and their award-winning information available to people who may need to seek out their help. So do get your donations in for that. And back to you.
Yeah, this unfortunately is a really like I don't even know. The first time you see it, it's pretty cool, but after that, any other run you do is just like, oh, I know the time about what I'm gonna get. Again, this is around 5 minutes, give or take. Also, there's like really funny, the people that made this level, they kind of forgot to get rid of this, so that's kind of a goofy mess up. There is something kind of cool that happens on this stage if you haven't seen it before. You can get like a little cutscene with the twin stars. I'll show it off here. I mean, even if I do fail, like, again, this mission is like an auto-scroller. But I shouldn't be failing this. You could literally have them at the very end and still be like pretty safe as long as you just keep shooting him with a watermelon gun coming up, and It's this boss is free. It's a cool boss, don't get me wrong. And like it's a cool stage that, you know, he destroys everything, etc, etc, but oh yeah, he does have machine guns. This game's pretty hardcore for being like a kid's game, I must say. Let's see if I can get the Twin Stars cutscene here. There they are. If you are left there for some reason, when he destroys the bridge, you can get the Twin Stars to come save you. Which is a very cute little cutscene that they included there. And there's this machine gun. I guess while this is going on, I do want to give a huge thanks to the people that have donated thus far, as well as SMMIDI for hosting the event, of course, and to the Hello Kitty Sanrio speedrunning community. Again, there was 2 Hello Kitty runs today, so that's a huge W. And yeah. Glad to be running this game. This is probably the game I've sped-run either the most or second most. I think Simpsons Hit and Run I've definitely sped-run more, but I'm also really bad at that game, so the run times were like hours. This game is very short in comparison, so I probably have more runs in this game, but you would kind of expect that since the runtime's like 30 minutes-ish, 40 minutes-ish. And there's Cows. Cows is a member of this community. The Hello Kitty speedrun community. Oh, I can get turned into a cube again. There we go. Yippee! I love that the watermelon cannon has like watermelon written on it. What? I turned invisible there for a second. That's wild. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. But yeah, solid game. Would recommend, even if you just want to speedrun it once as like a casual speedrun. It's very fun. Would recommend. Can get more coins here. And once it hits the 100, that'll be time, which should be very soon. And there we go. There's time. I could have let the cutscene play, but I got a 501.
GG.
GG's. You know what? Maybe I will save this.
Nicely done. So, yeah, that is it. I know you just did some shoutouts as well, but yeah, any last words before we wrap up the run?
Not really. Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for having me here. And again, shout out to the Hello Kitty community.
All right. Thanks again so much for that run. We are going to be right back for a short closing speech, so do stick around for us. I'll give my thoughts on how the event has gone. Of course, fantastic is the main word. But yes, we will be having that in just a moment, so stay right there. We will be right back.